Coming up on this edition of the ZTV Sports Report, we recap the men's soccer team's trip to the national tournament, the women's basketball team battles against Canisius, and Coach Caleb Porter makes his first appearance for a special edition of Coach's Corner. All here on the ZTV Sports Report, starting now. Welcome to the semester's final episode of the ZTV Sports Report, your home for Akron Zips athletics. I'm your favorite blonde, Anna Tultz. Starting the show off is the men's soccer team, who look to make a run for yet another national title. The Zips finished with a #1 ranking in the nation this season. They wanted a top 4 seed for the national tournament, and things looked good until they received a 5th seed. Akron had a bye for the first round and took on Michigan in the second. The Zips kept their national title hopes alive with a win against Michigan 2-1. Akron's Eric Stevenson and Thomas Schmidt scored the 2 goals for the Zips. The third round, Akron faced Creighton, who gave the Zips one of their 2 ties of the season. Ronaldo Brenes scored early in the game, and Akron held the lead until the 83rd minute. Akron would go on to lose 5-4 in penalty kicks, ending the season and Porter's final run with the Zips. Later in the show, we have a special edition of Coach's Corner where I talk to Coach Porter. The soccer season may be over, but there's never a dull moment in Akron athletics, as the men's basketball season is just warming up. The Zips stand with a 3-2 record and look to increase their 2-game win streak against Middle Tennessee. The Zips get ready to take on the Blue Raiders by warming up with some shots and collecting their rings from winning the MAC championship earlier this year. With that, the game is ready to begin, and Alex Abreu with the cross-court pass to Brian Walsh, who goes up and under for 2. This time, Abreu makes a move by 3 players and finishes with a nice layup. Back to Walsh, who has no problem draining a 3 just before the half, and the fans seem to be liking the flow so far. Now it's Zeke Marshall wide open in the paint, who gets an easy dunk on the Raiders, and the Zips find themselves ahead by 1 at the half. Second half, Walsh comes off the pick and again drains a 3. 16 seconds left though, Middle Tennessee fouled on a 3-point attempt. They make all 3 at the line to send the game into OT. Early in overtime, Jake Kretzer knocks down this shot to put the Zips up by 3, and they would hang on to win by 5. 2 players helped the Zips get the win in overtime. Alex Abreu had 19 points, 7 assists, 4 rebounds, and 4 steals. Abreu would definitely have to be the player of the game. Zeke Marshall also had a big game with 14 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 blocks. Akron is now 4-2.
It's kind of what I anticipated. I told our guys it was kind of like a game of gladiators, you know, who was going to take the punch and continue to stand at the end. And they're a terrific team, really. I mean, they're big, strong. They have enough skill. They share the ball. They're good defensively. They're hard to guard. You don't win 27 games and have all but 1 guy back and not be a good team. They're capable of beating a lot of people.
We covered men's soccer and men's basketball, but now it's time for the women to take center court. The women's basketball team recently welcomed visiting Canisius to the Jar, and we're hoping to send them off with a loss to add to their record. The Zips huddled together to prepare for the battle against the Griffins. Akron has a 5-1 record on the season so far and look to stay undefeated at home. Right away, the Zips set the pace as Taylor Rupert at the start drains a 3, and the Zips go ahead by 2. Canisius would answer as Jen Morabito drives, jump stops, and gets the and-1 call. Next possession looks similar as Sienna King wide open, gets the pass in the paint, draws a foul, and gets the extra point. That takes the game to the half, and the Zips find themselves with a 2-point lead. And even the little ones are enjoying the game. But Akron comes out ready to take on the second half, but it was Canisius who was the first to score as Allison Braun gets the bucket with a jumper. 4 minutes to go and the score is close. Miss King gets the steal and goes down the court for the layup. Akron is fired up and isn't stopping, which brings the play of the night, Hannah Luberg, who gets the block and takes the ball all the way down for another layup, increasing the Zips to a comfortable lead, and Akron goes on to win 81-72. Rachel Tecca led the Zips in scoring with 20 points, and Hannah Luberg also had a big game with 17 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists. These ladies helped their team to a 6-1 record for the season. Here's what head coach Jody Kess had to say after the game.
I thought the difference was, last 4 minutes, we did pick it up defensively and we got some great stops, and it's really nice for our team when we get defensive stops to create our offense. We can score offensively, but at times defensively we make a lot of mistakes. And for our kids, because we don't play a lot of kids, we only played 7, they played 10, and we grinded it out at the end and we finished. And then the second thing I was really pleased with our kids is we had 5 turnovers to their 20, so that's 15 more possessions. And so I was really, really, really pleased with that, and it's a happy win.
We're always talking about the University of Akron's athletes, but one thing we do not mention is the continuing controversy surrounding college athletics. Should college athletes be paid for what they do? The universities certainly make money off them. Our own Sartaj Ojala has the inside look on the issue.
One of the many issues that has been debated in college athletics has been whether or not to pay its athletes. With college sports rising in popularity, many athletes feel they have done enough to merit themselves to get paid.
It would be nice. I think if to anybody that would suggest that college football is not a big business is crazy, especially when you get to the big Southeastern Conference and all the Big Ten, all these conferences where so much money is made and utilized.
University of Akron football coach Terry Bowden feels that while it would be ideal for players to get paid, there are just too many issues preventing it.
I have never found a way that it could work because there's Title IX and there's 23, 25 sports in many schools.
Coach Bowden also explained the difficulty of paying the lesser-known players who might not even see the field.
Well, I mean, the players that aren't limelight. I mean, everybody wants to pay the quarterback, the running back, the star cornerback, but how about the offensive linemen or even the walk-ons or the backups that are on scholarship and they are not quite good enough to be the star, but they're the backup who has to prepare every day and be ready every minute, and that moment may never get called, but he's there putting in the exact amount of time. And there's not a lot of crying for his needs, his financial needs.
While those closely involved in athletics have a well-versed opinion, regular college students show to share the same opinion as well. In addition, many students feel that college athletes are already being well supported financially.
I don't think so. Not paid with like a salary or anything like that. I think that the tuition, or the scholarships that they get help a lot. But as far as a salary, I don't think so.
Some of them even get sponsorships even though they're not supposed to, but no, not really.
I don't think they should get paid. I think it's okay to get like scholarships. I think that getting like a scholarship that's more than what they need is not right.
Paying college athletes has been a hot topic for quite some time, and the National Collegiate Athletic Association has often made clear their stance of being against paying college athletes. Mark Emmert, the president of the NCAA, has even stated on the organization's website that, quote, "As long as I'm president of the NCAA, we will not pay student athletes to play sports. Compensation for students is just something I'm adamantly opposed to. We're providing athletes with world-class educations and world-class opportunities. If there are one of the few that are going to move on to become a pro athlete, there's no better place in the world to refine their skills as a student athlete." End quote.
If football players got paid, then volleyball players ought to get paid, and swimmers ought to get paid, and soccer players ought to get paid, and very few schools could afford anything like that.
This topic will most likely still linger as time goes on, and with the NCAA having an obvious stance against the topic, a change will probably not arrive in the near future. For the ZTV Sports Report, I'm Sartaj Ojala.
Coming up after the break, Coach Caleb Porter talks about what type of player he looks for on a special edition of Coach's Corner. And with the semester ending, we bring you the top 5 plays in Akron athletics. All that and more coming up next. You're watching the ZTV Sports Report.